Some game franchises have been going on a long time. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and even more than that. Some of these games are very well known and will continue on for years to come. But just because a game series has existed for a while doesn't mean it's well known. This franchise is a prime example, so we're going to take a look at its first entry. This series is Ys. Ys is an action-adventure RPG starring our hero Adol Kristen, a young man who wants to travel the world always seeking a new adventure. He has just arrived in the land of Asteria. Upon entering a port outside the town of Minia, he is greeted by a fortune teller named Sarah, who is seeking your help because of an evil that is taking over the land. He is asked to seek out the books of Ys, to learn about its history, and to find out how to defeat evil and figure out what made the land of Ys vanish. Upon accepting the quest, you are given Sarah's crystal and asked to meet with Jeva. She explains more to you about the 6 books, the priests who wrote them, and the goddesses of Ys, and soon gives you a key to enter the Shrine of Solomon. Here you fight one of the easiest bosses in the history of video games.
Alright. Let's do this!
In the shrine, you meet Fina, a girl who's lost her memory, and upon you rescuing her, stays with Jeva. You also find the first book in here after some exploration, which advances the story to find the other books from the mine and get another one from a girl named Leah, who's given the book by Sarah. After finding the first 3 books, it tells you about the silver equipment which is used to defeat evil. Upon finding 3 of the books of Ys and the silver gear, you are now allowed to enter Darm Tower, a place of great evil, to find the other 3 books. After ascending through the tower, you fight against Dark Fact, a villain who is referenced a fair amount throughout the game. After he's defeated, you read all 6 books of Ys and learn about its history, leading right into the second game. Touching upon the gameplay, it's unique. You simply walk into the enemies damaging them, but sometimes they hit you back. Usually it plays out a kind of a gamble. However, there is a way around it. If you walk slightly to the side of the enemy, you take no damage. It's a pretty lenient hit detection. Bosses are pretty much the exception to the rule. They need to be hit in a certain sweet spot. The most annoying boss to me personally is the vampire. He's pretty strong, and without being a high enough level, you can't even damage him.
Oh my god! Man, this guy's vicious! Dude, I've gotta train. I've gotta train like I've never trained before. That's what I thought!
wimp. Yeah. Six pack. Yeah.
Of course, a high level is only half of it. The right gear is critical as well. There are a total of 5 swords, shields, and armors you can acquire throughout the game, each one being more powerful than the last as the game goes on. You can also get 5 rings that can help in different ways, like giving increased strength or restoring life. Overall, combat is simple, but it's a nice start, especially for those who are beginner in the role-playing genre. Combat is important because battling helps keep the adrenaline pumping, but it becomes even more epic with an amazing soundtrack, and this game delivers. This series has some of the best music video games have to offer. The overall theme really gets you pumped, and combat with bosses have amazing battle tracks. The fights are not very long though if you're strong enough, so get a soundtrack CD or find the music online and enjoy. The intro and ending also have awesome music unique to them and amazing cutscenes that really get you interested about what's going on and what it's all going to lead into. Though the cutscenes looked really nice, the in-game graphics could have used a little bit of a touch-up. This is forgivable because it was a remake and it was also on the first 16-bit system. One of my favorite things about RPGs are wonderfully developed characters, which this game didn't really touch on. Most character dialogue was simply just story progression. Another disappointment for me was the length of the game, only being about 5 or 6 hours tops. The combat as well is nice and simple, but there isn't really much for someone who's more skilled in role-playing games. One last thing I do want to bring up is the voice acting. By no means it's a flaw, because it was extremely ambitious to try voice acting this early and for it to be as clear as it was.
Are you here to rescue me? How wonderful it would be to escape these chains. I have been locked up here for too long.
It was good, just kinda goofy sounding. It kinda reminds me of Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Die, monster! You don't belong in this world!
It was not by my hand that I'm once again given flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute.
Though some flaws do exist in this version, I want to introduce you to the series the way I was. A few of these issues were remedied in later remakes of the game, including a graphics upgrade, certain versions actually having a sword swing in combat, and added content that increased the length of the game. The intro also changed from future remakes as well as the anime, which I may discuss at greater length in the future. This version of the game, as well as tons of remakes, come bundled with Ys 2, which has a number of improvements and inclusions like magic points and spells, a better developed story, and the game is much longer. This is a game I will definitely talk about in time as well. I just wanted to give you an introduction to an amazing series with its first entry and hope you'd want to give it a shot yourself. You can find this game online from a number of different prices and versions, digitally and physically, from about $5 to $25. If you want to see more videos in time as well, hit that subscribe button. Questions or comments, leave something below, email me, or hit me up on my Facebook, which everything will be linked in the description. Thanks again for joining me on this adventure together, and I hope to help you find a new favorite RPG next time. And once again, thanks for watching.